Friends, Brickey here with another update of everything new we can find this month at Disneyland. What do you say? You want to take a rip around the entire park, finding everything new for the month of August 2023? I know you do. Let's jump in and see what we can find, as we now know when holidays are showing up at the park. There are new projects as other projects have wrapped up. Let's see what the month looks like at the edge of summer, right before September 1st, when Halloween officially kicks off at the Disneyland Resort, which you know will quickly be followed up with the holiday season that kicks off November 10th and lasts into January 7th. It's the end of normality as the holidays are coming to Disneyland. So friends, over on the distance you can see in the Disney Gallery, they have installed a massive, okay, I'm overselling it. I'm trying to pull that back. They have a sizable display for the new Haunted Mansion movie where you can go inside of there and see Madame Leota's costuming. The beadwork and the patterns on this costume are absolutely phenomenal. Like, you could just go in there and see all the detail they put into this to bring this beloved Disney character to life on the big screen. And it's interesting to look at how they use fabrics that wouldn't be really reflective of light, but enough contrast so you could actually see this costume in super dark lighting, which, you know, I'm assuming the film's in a lot of dark lighting. I've been very busy and haven't got to see it yet, but it is definitely on my list of things to do this very weekend. But they also installed some concept art from the film, which gives us a unique vantage point of what it would be like to be at the banquet table in the big wedding scene, because you can actually look up in that concept art and see where we all ride by. They also have the sphere that Leota's head is placed in, I'm assuming when she makes her way into the afterlife or pause between the afterlife. But all in all, a really fun exhibit over here, which is interesting because a Haunted Mansion exhibit sat there forever until they brought in the 100th anniversary exhibit. So the Haunted Mansion, you just can't get rid of it. It's a bad penny that just keeps coming back, and why wouldn't it be? It's a perennial favorite, dare I say, gold star standard for what Disney attraction should be, according to most fans. And I would encourage you to check out a series I have where I'm trying to tell you all the several stories that the Haunted Mansion is loosely themed around, as this would be the first attraction that would be built in Walt Disney's absence. And there's a lot of different threads that we're pulling on over there. So make sure to check out that playlist and check out those videos, but also make sure to check out this display, because it's really cool. It's a fun thing to pop in and catch a little AC. All right, friends, we are getting dangerously close to last call on riding the traditional version of the Haunted Mansion. It's gonna go down August 14th and will stay down until September 1st when Halloween officially kicks off at the Disneyland Resort. I'm excited for Halloween. I'm excited for the holiday overlay. But yeah, there is something about riding the original version of the Haunted Mansion that is so special. I'm going to be fortunate enough to get to do that this year during the Halloween season, as I'm heading out to Walt Disney World for another one of my epic week-long trips. But back here in Disneyland, it'll be Jack Skellington and his friends as they wreck the halls of the Haunted Mansion. And I do love the attention to detail that kicks off on the 14th. Not the 13th, right? You have to have this open on the 13th. I'll be doing a meetup with my Club 1313 members, and you know we're going to be ripping the mansion on the 13th because that's the Haunted Mansion day of the month. And I say that the 13th is the Haunted Mansion day of the month because you will never ever see the wait time for this ride be shorter than 13 minutes. If you see 13 minutes, that means it's a walk-on, but you'll never see a number shorter to ride the Haunted Mansion. And if you're worried about missing the mansion while it's gone, don't worry. Over on the channel, we're going to continue to do our Haunted Mansion series, where we're looking at all the folklore, the backstories, the legends that came about with one of Disney's greatest attractions. So we'll still keep ripping the Haunted Mansion all Halloween season over on Hey Brickey. Great time to subscribe and check out that back catalog of the Haunted Mansion tales that we've told so far. We have just stumbled into a new project that has popped up on the edge of the Fantasy Fair. But don't worry, it appears that they are still doing the princess meet and greets. Also, the photo opportunity in here for all of our little prince and princesses is still available. And the best shortcut in Disneyland, these hallways right here not only have a great men's and women's room that you can get to, but a way to cut across the park in a very efficient manner late at night. That is your best tunnel to transform from the hub over to the edge of Frontierland has saved me several times, and Disney has been smart to keep that open. As all the scrims have come down at the Red Rose Tavern, we see them moving over here, and I'm curious, is it just the same beautification crew that's moving their way over here to repaint all these buildings after they just did it over on the other side of Sleeping Beauty Castle and the building that resides right there? This area through here is the newest part of Fantasyland. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's detailing. Cannot wait to see it once they spruce it all up. A lot of banging going on. And I talked to a very kind cast member who's like, what do you think? You like the new hammer noises we added? Always love a funny CM. And how they work tirelessly to keep this park just pristine. They put more effort into it than I just put into saying the word tirelessly, because I'm a little tired. The old Village House restaurant remains one of my favorite parts of Fantasyland. I love this sweeping facade and how every 6 to 8 feet it bends and corks to create what looks like another structure, therefore giving it the village vibe. Seeing them go through this and repaint it, it just makes it like shine and have so much more contrast. And I absolutely love that all of these buildings within a year always get a little touch up. And this area, it's not a place I come to a lot, but it is definitely, I think, maybe the prettiest part of Fantasyland proper. I take that back. The teacups are the most beautiful part, but it's a close second. Here we see another beautification project on the edge of Fantasyland over on Matterhorn Trail. We see that we have cast members over here working on that bench seating that's just built into the wall, where the retaining wall for the trees and bushes also acts as a bench. Going to need to get this dialed in because these benches are going to be high demand starting November 10th when the holidays roll back into town, and along with them bring a Christmas fantasy parade. Yeah, you can already hear the song in your head. I know, the best Christmas earworm of all time. Now you may ask yourself, what exactly are we looking at, Brickey? We are looking at that privacy fence that you can now see over in the waterway that was once for the motorboats. There was one of those fences that has the printed scrims on it to make it look like bushes. It is now an exposed fence. And when I look over this way, I also see a lot more exposed infrastructure back there underneath the monorail path. Let's not forget, when everybody was saying that the People Mover was going to go back, we saw Scott Tolbridge post about what an amazing job he had and how Disneyland was never completed. And that post was from over here, which got a lot of people thinking that that was tied into the rumors that WDWNT were getting fans hopeful about a return of a People Mover. Obviously, the worst D23 came and went, and we learned nothing about a People Mover, but I do believe that this area is tagged for some sort of big project. Will it be the Avatar that Bob Iger teased? I don't think so. I see this as becoming more of an extension of Fantasyland and getting more Fantasyland in the park, as it remains a perennial favorite and truly the heart of Walt's Park. To be determined. Make sure you're subscribed, because we come here and shoot every single month, giving you all the updates at Disneyland, as well as the other 3 territories of the Disneyland Resort: Disney's California Adventure, Downtown Disney, and the Disney Hotels. Are you ready for the ultimate pitch on why you should subscribe to Hey Brickey? If your other Disney channels aren't showing you the new wall in Fantasyland, are they really showing you everything? Yes. Make sure you subscribe, because we go deep over here in the design, the details, and the heart of the park. Nailed it again. Hard sell. We can see that Alice in Wonderland is fully back to being operational. As you know, this building was a big source of construction over the last couple of months, which felt odd during what used to be the busy season, but the busy season is just getting ready to come here. Peter Pan has been back to its glory, remaining the king of the dark rides inside of Fantasyland. Mr. Toad still has its second wave of refurbishments going through it. Nothing has been done to the shows in these attractions. It's all been infrastructure, but definitely an indication of where Disney sees their busy season now is no longer June, July, and August. As we see these construction walls still here on the back side of the building, it makes sense that Toad is still down, because Toad is right on the other side of these walls. This is the service entry into this building that houses 3 attractions. So if any attractions need any large-scale equipment delivered, it would be through these doors, which coincide with where Toad sits inside the building. And then Alice is right up here above it. We finally have a date for the return of the Monorail. It'll be coming back August 31st. It went down on July 5th after the holiday weekend, and it's been down, I believe, all of the construction that you'll see that is happening over in the downtown Disney Sarlacc pit. As you know, they are building a building right next to the monorail path. While the monorail's down, they also took this time to refurbish the front of Soarin' over in DCA. So Disney just taking full advantage of not having the monorail ripping by. But don't worry, we didn't miss a lot because it does close down once temperatures exceed somewhere in the mid 80s, which is this time of year. So it'll be opening up right at the end of August for our September fall kickoff. Halloween starts here September 1st. It'll be nice to have the monorail when all of those heavy crowds return to the Disneyland Resort, because everybody in Southern California and abroad really do enjoy trying to get a little bit of fall inside of Halloween at the Disneyland Resort. Pumpkin, pumpkin, Halloween. We are getting so close. This little smiling guy's got me all pumped up for what's getting ready to happen in just 1 month. Comment below, is that popcorn or kettle corn? Nailed it. Disney has installed a canopy over the top of the slides as they continue to mess around inside of ToonTown to perfect it. Let's take a quick lap inside of ToonTown and see what else we can find, because they keep just sprinkling in more and more details. It goes to show that they probably rushed to get this land open, but knew they could take their time sorting in all the details. Every month we come back here, every month we find something new, and I celebrate this attention to trying to perfect it and get it right. And boy, oh boy, is it hot standing on this AstroTurf. Woo, it's hot out here today. We see some construction walls on the edge of Donald's boat. All right, going to switch over to filming me so I don't accidentally film a family having a good time. But they have put walls up here on the edge of Donald's boat. That's where the water splash park's supposed to be. We are now officially in August, and that splash park has not come to materialize. This wall right here, family free right now. That has not come together yet. I'm thinking that now we see the scrim around it, it might mean that this is the final push to get that to open up. We can see there's actually an entryway here for the workers, and then the scrims go on along the back side of the Gadget coaster. So hopefully this means that they're finally getting that Donald splash pad up and ready for the youngest citizens of Disneyland to cool off. But yeah, shout out to Imagineering for continuously working on this new part of the park, trying to get it as perfect as possible and install all those Disney details that do make the difference. Not sure what this one's all about, but these are construction walls outside of the exit walls from the land, where there is a service road that goes between the outer vignette and the part of the park that we're in. There's like a service road that goes through there that stands between essentially Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and where the guests are at. Walt's barn overlooking Walt's creation. Who knows what this has to do with anything? Maybe it's just staging for some supplies that they wanted to keep out on the floor and keep that road open so they can get in and out and do all the service that they need to do for this back northwest corner of the park. Constantly doing something different. Oga's Canteen is going to have a couple of other restaurants starting September 12th. Join it in being a location where guests can go to get alcohol inside of Disneyland. Now, of course, you can get alcohol in downtown Disney in several spots in DCA, but until now, it's only been Oga's Cantina as far as a walk-up. Club 33 has alcohol, but it's a little tricky to get in there. And Blue Bayou, since the park is reopened, seems almost as difficult as Club 33 to get in. They also have alcohol. We will see Carnation Cafe over on Main Street, USA, as well as Riverbell Terrace on the edge of Frontierland and Adventureland, New Orleans Square, sort of that triangle where they all come together, and Cafe Orleans, which I would have guessed probably already served booze, but will now join the list. Oga's Cantina remains the last bar, or only bar I should say, where you can actually go in and just consume alcohol and not worry about doing a meal. Transformational thing in the park. Walt never really wanted this to be a place where people would be walking around and getting hammered. He wanted everybody to enjoy it and be aware of enjoying it as a family and take that seedy element out of theme parks that had become a problem during Walt's time. However, other than Oga's, the 3 new restaurants that are coming on board, 2 drink maximum. You must be inside of the restaurant. You can't carry it out of the restaurant. And these are dining establishments where you're going to need to be in there eating. You can't just go in and grab a drink and pop out. So kind of trying to play both sides of the fence, allowing people to fully enjoy Disneyland in whichever style makes sense for them, but also honor Walt's vision of not having this be a carry around alcohol establishment. I personally don't drink. This doesn't affect me. I kind of wish maybe it wasn't happening. I'd like to think that everybody could just be present and be here and enjoy the park. But I've also come to realize that people really enjoy their drinks. It's a part of their pastime. It's a part of their relaxation. So who am I to judge? Alcohol coming on board, 3 new locations starting September 12th. I would have did it September 11th so we could all drink to forget. And just like that, it's gone. Over the past month, we have seen the tree that sit on top of Chickapin Hill slowly get dismantled, slowly get removed. This will no longer be a mountain, but a rolling hill of the bayou as it's transformed into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Bittersweet. I'm down for the change, but there was a lot of nostalgia and great memories wrapped up in seeing that tree when you came over the bridge that took you over the canals. Whether you were coming or going, it was always an old friend to see up there. But time moves on, so does Disneyland, always evolving, always expanding, trying to find a way to include everybody inside of the stories that it tells inside of its park. I'll be looking forward to see what that water tower with the tiara looks like when it shows up right around in these parts. But I do know that the lighting package on this looks like it's going to be pretty amazing, somewhat adjacent to Pandora at night out at the Animal Kingdom. So not all a loss. Here we can see workers over on the drop area where they are passing some sort of building materials across one another. And it appears to me that we are seeing them actually dismantle some of that upper tier scaffolding, which was originally around the tree. You can see them dismantling that as they have done step 1, removing the treetop. Did not take that long, and there was no way to preserve it because it seemed like to me, after coming here every week and checking in on it, it seemed like they had to pretty much just smash it and destroy it to get it off the top of Splash Mountain. Looked like it was sculpted around chicken wire and not something that you could actually cut off and lower down to preserve for the Disney archives. Hopefully they kept a branch or two, just a piece of it to remember what was. The Splash Mountain penny presser is still rolling. Just saw a guy walk away with the entire collection, so that is still a possibility. We can see Tiana's Palace has dropped its scrims, given us some of the details, but it'll always be hard to see this because of how tree covered this area is. Through this break in the tree line, we can see the captain's wheelhouse, as well as the Tiana crown with T in there. Little bit of the steamboat style smokestacks, kind of hard to see those with how much tree coverage we have. From this angle, we can see a lot of the painting, how they have redone the various balconies, and then down there on the ground, you can see that it is already covered with its tables and chairs. This is staged and ready to open up. We do not have an opening date. We only know at some point this fall. It'll be interesting to see this come back online, putting those holiday beignets back in their rightful home. We can also easily see the sails back there where the New Orleans Square dead ends. And it appears that the witch doctor's house, or apartment I shall say, still remains intact, which was a detail that I was hoping we wouldn't lose. Enjoying this yellow and the new typography. I wasn't overly excited about this, but I'm not gonna lie, it does look like an improvement. I am enjoying the popcorn lights that they have placed all around the building. The yellow and green's nice contrast, matches well within itself, but also the rest of New Orleans Square. It's looking like it might end up being a W after all. All right, friends, it has been announced that we will not see the return of Fantasmic until spring of 2024, which I know isn't the news that you wanted to hear, but let's break it down. We're getting ready to step into the holiday season here at the Disneyland Resort. First going into Halloween, then we'll be followed up by the holiday season. That's going to take us up into January. Typically, it's pretty chilly at the park, February and March. That's also a massive refurbishment season. Traditionally, everything's upside down right now. So therefore, Fantasmic coming back in April or May. not really as bad as it sounds. I'm trying to be optimistic here. So when we think about it, there are so many different things that will be happening. It'll probably be here before we all know it, which is kind of crazy. Now, currently we have a jazz band performing on the Rivers of America 3 times every evening, adding a little bit of ambiance. And this is a great place to watch Wondrous, which, by the way, its final performance will be August 31st, because then Hollow Screams will take over as the nighttime fireworks show. So we see so many different things happening in this area, and when the show comes back, they haven't said that the dragon will return, but they have promised new experiences and a new Mickey Mouse versus Maleficent battle. A new battle, not including the dragon, but I have faith that they'll come up with a great alternative. Sadly, it looks like we may be turning the page on the dragon being part of the nighttime show, which definitely was my favorite part of the show. Don't get me wrong. I love when Disney goes heavy metal, and it looks like those days may be past, but let's hope they use new technology, new storytelling to elevate the experience. I'm gonna hold off my judgment until I see it and know if it's better or worse. Not gonna freak out now, which kind of means I'm probably doing my job wrong. But the Rivers of America continues to be one of my favorite parts of the park. Growing up on the banks of the Ohio River, the Mark Twain reminds me of the Belle of Louisville and the Delta Queen that used to literally cruise past my house every day, and I could hear the organ out on the river. And we also see the construction wall still up for the restroom on the edge of Adventureland. In a bizarre way, it's kind of made the traffic flow even better. Who would have guessed that one? Well, friends, we lost a part of Disneyland this past week. I know you know that Paul Rubens passed away, the voice of DJ Rex, his legacy of going back to Star Tours, crashing, and now ending up on the outer edge of the planet. I think that it's great that we'll forever be able to remember Pee Wee Herman and his magic, his charisma, and his character through his vocal work on DJ Rex. Sad to see him go, but happy to know that he's preserved here in Disneyland. May we all hope that there's a little piece of us that lives on inside of here long after we live on this earth. Thanks, Pee Wee, for everything you did. I know you meant to do that. And still my favorite Pee Wee Herman moment is, I say we let him go. As well as, I'm a loner, Dottie. I'm a rebel. Yes. Hard to be sad when somebody's made you so damn happy. Friends, thank you so much for joining me for another update where we go all around Disneyland looking at all the new things that happened in the last month. I appreciate you for showing up. I appreciate you subscribing. And I appreciate my friends from Club 1313. Cannot wait to get that final Haunted Mansion rip with each of you when we do our meetup on the 13th. Thank you so much for supporting the content and being my ultimate Disneyland friends. And if you're wondering how I can vlog down Main Street without bumping into anybody, yeah, I always do it in the wake of a Main Street vehicle so that it can create an opening and I can just focus on talking into the camera and not bump into anybody. Little hack. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope you had a good time. I'll see you next Saturday when we do DCA. After that, Downtown Disney, and then again, the Disneyland Hotels. Don't forget to look at the video I did where I showed you a complete special on the creation of the new DVC towers, because last month we had 5 Saturdays. See you real soon. Thank you for showing up. Oh yeah, and this is also a thing that happens here sometimes.